Hello, thanks for having me. Quickly, just kind of give you a quick rundown of what's going on with us. We're right in the thick of the installation period for us. We've got a bunch of them in, so I'd say, a good portion, a good chunk of the offense is in, and guys have done a really nice job. I think from where we are now to where we finished spring, tremendous growth. The guys this summer did a great job of getting their bodies ready, getting their minds ready, and when they came to camp, offensively, these guys were ready to rock and roll. I think, up front, setting the tone. Those guys are a physical bunch. They've done a great job of really establishing our identity through camp, and then as you go through the back end of the perimeter, and receivers, the tight ends, and running backs, everyone's done a really nice job of progressing in a fashion that we're really excited about. We think we're in a really good place. We have the scrimmage later on today will be a good test to see guys competing, and so but for where we're at right now, I feel really good, and I think we're on the right path to getting off to a really fast start.
Questions? So we'll get a mic to you. Please state your name and affiliation as well.
Coach Steve Robertson from Gene's Page. Kind of give us an overview, maybe the newcomers, guys that are new to the program or available to the program, and what your expectations are for them.
Okay, just starting with the quarterback, Jalen's done a really nice job of grasping the offense for a young guy, for a young quarterback. We're really excited about where he can take where his future is headed. He's off to a really good start. Heading to the tight end position, a couple young guys there, Spivey and Brad, have done a great job of. Again, those guys are really big guys, and when they walk in the room, they just fit into SEC football right away. So that part of it is really exciting, and then Coach Hudd's done a great job of getting those guys ready to play. The mental part of it, they've grabbed on really well, and it's fun to see those guys running around. Up front, Dollar Bill and Cam have really stood out. Their size, their athleticism is really strong. Again, those two have bright futures. We're excited about them. And heading outside the receivers, Steven being the junior college transfer, we finally got an opportunity to see him out there a little bit as he continues to get healthy. He's shown some really good flashes of things we can get excited about, and Wap kind of the same thing. And Cam Gardner has been a pleasant surprise. We kind of switched him over to receiver in the summertime, and he's a really bright kid and fun to have in the room, and excited to see what his future can lie to. So I think offensively, the newcomers that have come to camp, they've come ready to go, and they took advantage of the summer and getting their bodies in shape to handle the kind of competition that our defense presents us every day. So I'm excited. I think the young group of guys are going to be something that we'll be able to be excited for a few years down the road.
Brian Haydett, Super Talk Mississippi. Is there an awareness in your group, in the wide receiver group, that's the group that people are watching and saying, hey, if Mississippi State's really going to take a step forward this year, they've got to get better wide receiver play?
I would say no. I think they're just a focus group right now, and the competition is there too. So it's kind of bringing out the best in everybody. That group has gotten better every single day. I mean, I think they were a group that when we walked out of spring, I don't think everybody had a very good grasp of what we were doing. Like I said, they, as much as any group on the offense, really did an outstanding job. Coach Paroli got their butts in shape, and man, they look faster. The guys have really done a great job of paying attention in the meetings and applying it to the field, and taking the fundamentals that we talk about in the meeting room and in the individual periods, and they are applying them to the practice film. So I'm extremely excited about their progress. I think that they're just a focus group. They're all in competitions with themselves, and then again, there's multiple people at each position, so that helps. There's no complacency going on in that room at all. So I think everyone's playing a little bit better each and every day. But the pressure of feeling like that's on that group, I think that we put the pressure on ourselves in that group to say, this team is going to flow how we flow, and our mentality is going to depend on our success. So.
Logan Lowry, Daily Journal. I know Guidry wasn't able to do a whole lot during the spring, but how beneficial was it to get him and Wap in there, and just how much did that speed up their progression?
Oh, that's huge. I mean, that early enroll, that was huge. You know, those two guys, not only just their presence and what they do when they get on, they're such natural football players or football guys, and it helps the other guys in the room. And then, but for them alone, you know, Wap's body is transformed. So is Stevens. I mean, he gained 20 pounds, you know, over the time. So we were able to get their bodies ready to play in this league. And then the mental part of it, that's, you know, getting the actual go out and experience it. You know, Wap got that in the spring. Steven didn't. But, you know, now Steven's getting through that right now. And, you know, that early enroll is huge for anybody. And to get that experience, I think that's the reason why they're able to have so much success early on here in camp.
David Brandt with the AP. Nick Fitzgerald had talked a little bit about how he thought this offense, one of the focuses would be to stretch it a little more vertically, try to get downfield. With the receivers and everything, I mean, what goes into teaching vertical routes? I mean, I know obviously speed and stuff like that, but is there more to it than that? What do you have to do to stretch the field?
Well, I think, you know, anytime it's important. Anytime you're putting an offense together, you have to put a plan. Okay, how are we going to stretch them vertically? How are we going to stretch them horizontally, right? So as you're putting your plans together and you put an offense together and you're building your installations, you have to have a little bit of that in your plan. So then now after you put that plan together, now you have to go out and practice it. And how do we practice it? You know, that's a big part of our individual period, our routes on air, things like that. So we're training the throw, we're training the catch, the different types of catches that you have to make when you're down the field. And then you get into the team or the going against an opponent or our defense, and then that goes back to the installation. You have to be able to run the football, you have to be able to protect, you have to be able to play action, and to be able to throw the ball down the field. It's not. There's not very many teams that can just catch the ball from center and just throw it deep all game long. I mean, the success of this offense has been because they've had the leading rusher in the conference, and then that's helped the passing game, being able to throw the ball down the field, because it's creating matchups. And if you have your best player against one of the other opponents and it's just one-on-one, you feel really good about those opportunities. And we want to create as many of those opportunities as possible. And if we don't run the ball well, then they're going to have two on our one best matchup. And so I think running the football makes more people around the box, and it creates more isolation on the outside. And then again, now we fall back to our training, and that's, you know, the quarterbacks learning how to throw the ball down the field, because it's a very difficult throw. And if you don't practice it, you're not going to be very good at it. And it's something we've stressed since we've gotten here. And the last part of it is, I think it's the mentality of the play caller. And you guys know Coach Moorhead's an aggressive guy, and the situation's not going to dictate his personality. He's going to dictate that. So,
Coach uses the tagline "good to great" as kind of a vision for this program. What does that mean to you, and what is the balance there between kind of setting up a foundation for a 5-year plan, but also putting all of that in now, since this roster has high expectations for itself?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we're doing. I mean, this culture is changing every single day, and, you know, in the offensive room, you know, we focus on the fundamentals. So the very first thing that we've done in our meetings is we've taken a step back and we've made it about the fundamentals. And so myself and the other coaches are standing in front of the offense, and we're talking about the fundamentals. We're not talking about the play. So the very first unit meeting that we have is we're talking about the fundamentals of catching the football, or fundamentals of ball security, fundamentals of run blocking, pass blocking. So we're taking care of the fundamentals first that we can build off of. It's not about the play. It's about how we execute. And that's part of the good to great, because if we do those things really good and they turn into really great, then the plays end up executing really great. And so it's a foundation that we're building with these guys, and we've taken it, you know, like Coach has always said, we're building this thing on rock, not on sand.
Hi, Coach. Andy Lee with WTVA TV in Tupelo. Obviously, you had a front row seat the last couple of years to one of the best to ever throw a football. I know you're not the quarterback's coach, but is there anything that you learned from Aaron, or you observed from Aaron, that you bring into your quarterbacks, or is he just kind of does something you can't teach?
Well, he does a lot of things you can't teach. That is fact. He is a very special player, but there was a lot of benefit of being around him the last 4 years. You know, the way his approach with his teammates, the way he practices, the way he leads, and all that stuff. we've brought here and that I've brought here, and I've and Coach Briner and I have worked really well together in implementing all the successes that Joe has had, plus some of this other stuff that I believe and that will help us be better too. So Aaron has been instrumental in my coaching career and learning how to coach guys that he leads by example every single day. And my example that I expressed to the team was, here's a guy who's all pro, all world, best player in the league, and we're in walkthroughs up in Green Bay, and he takes every single rep. So the first group's coming in, the second group's coming in. He doesn't know. He took every single rep because it's in his mentality. He wants to make sure everybody's on the same page that he is. And so when you have someone that great practicing practice habits like that, that's something that I could bring for sure every single day here.
Coach, Steve Robertson from the GP. Nick Fitzgerald has rushed for over 2,000 yards as a starting quarterback here at Mississippi State. I know Moorhead has talked about being a little more balanced. Ideally, how much would you like to see your quarterback run football maybe in a given season?
Well, it's a special talent that he has. So we'd be ignorant to not notice that and be aware of that. And so that's definitely going to be a part of our game plans. It has to be. He's a really good runner with the football, and he's tough as nails. But the defense is going to dictate what we do. We're gonna game plan every single week, and we're going to find the best ways to get those matchups and opportunities to get him the ball. And he's going to be throwing it, he's going to be running it, and he's going to be making decisions at the line of scrimmage that maybe he didn't have to do before. So we're going to put a lot of stress on him, and he's shown the ability to do so. He's a really smart guy, bright guy, and extremely talented, not just running, but throwing the football too. So as in every team can stand up here and say, we'll go as where our quarterback takes us. And Nick, we're lucky to have him because I think he's a guy who can do a lot of things. He's a dual threat for sure.